Hello, everybody. My name is Adebisi Oluwatoni, and I am a drop of black. So, welcome to this live. Today, we are going to be discussing the role of genetics in hair growth, and um, what led to this topic discussion is there's so much, would I say, disagreement about what role genetics plays. Some people would say, "Oh, you have good genetics, then you're just lucky. You didn't work for the hair you have. Your hair is not that awesome." It's people that have bad genetics that work hard. Those are the ones that they deserve praise. I don't know. People are weird. And then there's other people that are like, genetics has nothing to do with it. All you have to do is put in hard work, do your best. And they make the natural hair journey look like some full-time job, which it is actually, but then it's not that crazy. So let's start a discussion. Who am I? My name is Oluwatoni Adebisi. I am a natural hair enthusiast, and I have been blogging on the subject for over 3 years now. I started my natural hair journey sometime in 2013 by transitioning from waxed hair, and I didn't have a awesome reason or something spectacular like people that they just cut everything and then they feel like, oh yeah, I'm now a new person, or maybe they were going through some trauma or something like that. My story is not that glamorous. I just felt like the relaxer was preventing my hair from being the best it could be, and then my hair color was no longer black, it was now some weird shade of brown. So I didn't like it, so I decided to transition. And then my transition stage involved a lot of low manipulation hairstyles, protective hairstyles, and then my hair was basically almost always covered. So I didn't actually cut my ends until like the end of 2017, which was after maybe 4 years, which is quite crazy. But then, the funniest thing is that my hair was falling off because I wasn't taking care of it the right way. So I was just keeping it under covers more or less. So it was growing, but then the ends were falling off like crazy. So yes, it wasn't exactly the best journey. But then after that I've learned, my hair journey involved a lot of trial and error, and then taking time out to just sit down and be like, okay, so what am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? And reevaluating my mind every other time. So I've made it now to a state where I'm comfortable with my progress, I'm comfortable with my hair, I don't feel the need to compare, and I'm just more at peace, and I'm finally reaching hair goals. And then I would like to help you do the same. Over the course of this discussion, I'm going to be, giving you an intel into what I will have prepared for you. But before that, let's do a quick survey. So I would like you to just type in the chat which one of these categories you fall under. Are you a new natural or someone that's transitioning? Are you old or long time natural? And then what are your hair goals? I would love to know. Are they length goals, health goals, or do you want both? Because I know everybody kind of wants both, Oliver Twist things. But then it's fine, it's fine. Everybody wants healthy, long hair, except people that don't want long hair. But then everybody wants health. So I understand if you choose one and two, that's fine. So I'll just give you a few seconds to type that in the chat, and then we shall move on to the next subject of discussion. Okay, so now let's go right into it. What are genes? A gene is a basic physical and functional unit of heredity. They are made up of DNA. DNA is just a bunch of proteins, but like really, really tiny proteins. So everybody has two copies of each gene, one inherited from each parent. So like your parents have two copies, and then they give off one of those copies to you, and then you now have one from each parent, and then it just goes on like that, like that, like that. And then in real life, all human beings share a large amount of genes. Like we are literally almost identical. But then there's just this 1%. And that 1% is what accounts for all the changes that you can see. All the changes. Changes with hair, changes with skin color, eye color, changes with less physical things like maybe blood group or all those type of things. It's just that tiny change that accounts for our individuality. And then our hair growth is regulated by the LHX2 gene. So that means that during your hair growth phase, this is the gene that is expressed. And then when your hair is in the hair fall stage, that gene is turned off. So now we know that if you want your hair to grow, or if your hair is growing, then that means this LX gene is doing something good for you. So yeah, that's something we can say thank you to the LX gene for. And so based on this, we can easily say that the longer this gene is expressed or activated in the hair follicle, the longer your hair growth phase. So now I know I've been talking hair growth phase and all of that stuff. I'm going to go into that soon. Just hold on. So next thing we're going to talk about is how does hair grow? Hair is formed in follicles. I'm going to add a picture soon so you see that. A hair follicle is a tunnel-shaped structure in the outer layer of the skin. The hair starts growing at the bottom of the hair follicle, and the root of hair is made up of protein cells, and they are nourished by nearby blood vessels in the dermal papillae. We'll also see that soon. As more cells are created, the hair grows out of the skin and reaches the surface. Sebaceous glands near the hair follicle produce oils which nourish the hair and skin. We have about 100,000 of these follicles on our scalp, and then we obviously have them on other parts of our bodies. So, hair follicles determine your hair type. For example, circular follicles produce straight hair, oval follicles, curlier hair. The amount of melanin you have in each follicle will determine your hair color. So people that have larger amounts of eumelanin, they have dark hair, lesser amounts to brown than blonde hair. People that have pheomelanin, that gives them red hair, and then that is a topic for another day. So now let's talk about the hair follicle. Look at this picture I've shown you. This is basically the skin. You can see the medulla, cortex, cortical, all of that of the hair shaft. This is the sebaceous gland. That's the one that produces the oils that come out of your scalp to nourish your hair. This is the dermal papillae, this place where there's blood vessels, and then this, all of this is in the hair bulb. This arrectopili muscle is the one in charge of your hair standing up. You know, when you get goosebumps and the hair stands up. So that's what that muscle does. The characteristics of hair follicles, such as the shape, the amount of melanin it contains, and how much hair it's produced, is all controlled by our genetics. All hair follicles are formed during fetal development, and the new hair is generated in the hair follicle by continually going through phases. And these are the recession, rest, and growth phase, also known as catagen, telogen, and anagen. This phase carries on over and over and over during our lifetimes, and yes, I'm going to explain that soon. So now let's talk about the hair cycle. Anagen phase is the growth phase. In this phase, the dermal papillae, which is here, is connected to the hair ball, which is this, like the hair matrix, all of this. It is connected to each other, and then it is actively nourishing it, taking care of it, helping make sure that your hair is growing optimally. So that is the growth phase, and it can last from anywhere to from 2 to 7 years. The catagen phase is the one where it is regressing. So in this phase, there's apoptosis in the epithelial cells of the bulb. That is big English for cell death. So now this is getting separated. I'm just going to explain. There's a better picture going forward. And then the telogen phase is where the hair loses attachment to the dermal papillae. So now the hair bulb and the blood vessels, they are separated, and that hair is more or less dead. So it takes a while for it to finally separate and then fall out. During this phase, while the other hair is separated and ready to fall out, the follicle is starting to prepare for a new hair to start growing. So this is a picture that explains everything. I'm not sure if you can see it very clearly depending on your screen, but let's just talk about the anagen phase, which is the growth phase. So as you can see here, this red thing is the dermal papillae, and then this is where the differentiating cells, or like the cells that go up to be the hair. So as you can see, they are connected to each other, and then they are connected. Look at this phase. The red is no longer connected to the up one. They're beginning to separate. And then look here, this last place, the red is now like completely different from it. So they are no longer connected and sharing nutrients and everything. That is why this hair would most likely fall out. So that's how it works. Um, if you have any other questions about that, I will definitely explain it better. But then I feel like I already talked about it enough. The dermal papillae is no longer in contact and then it falls out. So that's how the hair grows. So more or less what we're saying is that if the hair shaft or the hair root is connected to the dermal papillae, which is its source of nutrients, then your hair will grow. So all the phases are going on at the same time on your hair, which is why we don't just wake up one day and then all the hair on our head is falling out, but instead only few pieces or few amounts of hair fall out every day. So that means that uh, at any given point in time, like right now, 95% or 90% of all the strands of my head are in their anagen phase, and then some of them are in telogen, some of them are in catagen. So I feel like that is okay. If you still have any questions, definitely ask me about that. So now we've talked about genetics. So let's move on to the next part, which is environmental factors. In an ideal society, from what we have been talking about, you say, so what should be responsible for my hair length is my genetics. All right. So that means how long my anagen phase lasts, and then how fast my hair grows during that anagen phase should should be the key identification. I don't know. That should be the key pointer to how much my hair should grow. So if my hair is growing half an inch every month, and then my hair is going to grow as long as 2 years. That's how long my anagen phase is. So I know now that I will just do half an inch times 2 years, and then I'll have my answer. But there's also environmental factors that play a role on how our hair grows. And some of these environmental factors include our age, our diet, our health status, just to name a few. Even the weather can affect our hair length, because we know that drier hair tends to be more brittle and tends to fall out more easily. So somebody that is in a climate, or somebody that is in an environment where the atmosphere is dry and then they don't moisturize their hair will obviously fall out faster, and then that means they would have shorter hair. Even though in this situation, it's not actually the genetics that is predisposing their hair to be short, it is just the environment they are in. So that's another way that environment can play a role in how long our hair is. Another important environmental factor, this is one that cannot be over talked about, is what we do to our hair. So, for example, if I do a scalp treatment or a scalp massage once a week, if I eat healthy foods, if I keep my scalp clean and healthy, my hair would obviously grow longer than somebody who's just like, oh yeah, my hair genetics says I'm going to have this amount of hair, so I'm just going to leave my hair, let it do whatever it wants. It will be different because I'm actually like, the environmental factors are more, the environmental factors for me are enabling my hair to grow. While that person that doesn't care about their hair, doesn't take care of it, doesn't wash their hair, that person's environment, their scalp environment, is not conducive for hair growth. So they would most likely have stunted growth, and their hair would not be as long as they would like for it to be, even though they think, oh, I'm putting in all the work. And then somebody like that now would blame it on their genes, that their genes are bad and their genes doesn't want them to have long hair. But the lifestyle has actually made a difference. So so this means that nature sets a foundation, or nature a um sets a foundation for us, and then we now have room to manipulate what hair results that we get. The room is not that large, so we cannot do one magic treatment and then we'll grow 1 inch in 1 week or something crazy like that. But then the room that nature gives us the opportunity to add little lengths over time, and then after a few years, we realize that our hair has gotten a whole lot longer than it used to be in the past. So something like that is, for example, if my hair normally used to grow 0.5 inches, but then I started doing regular scalp treatments, maybe once a week or once in 2 weeks. Over through those scalp treatments, I may have stimulated my hair to grow an extra 0.2 inches. So those 0.2 inches, when they add up over time, even during that same Anagen phase, when they add up over time, my hair will still be longer. So that's just an example. And so now what we are saying is that if you want to manipulate nature to get the results you like, there are two ways you can go about it. Either by increasing the length of your Anagen stage or by increasing how much hair you grow in a month. That means how much hair you grow during the Anagen stage, and I'm going to discuss that. So let's move to the next page. So first of all, now, question of the day. Do your genes doom you to short hair? No. Even if you're at the lower end of the spectrum, where you get half an inch of hair every month and your Anagen phase lasts 2 years, you can still grow up to 12 inches. And 12 inches is not short. Like, yes, it is not as long as waist length, and shrinkage would make it look shorter. Like, you can see my hair looks right now. Shrinkage will make it look shorter, but 12 inches is not short. And so you can optimize. So we can boldly say that genetics don't doom you to short hair, because first of all, the baseline is not short. Second, you can manipulate nature to an extent so that you optimize how much hair you grow. And you so let's move into that now. First off is elongating your Anagen phase, which is one of the two ways that you can optimize your hair growth. It is important to know that that's a mistake. Your Anagen phase can be shortened for different reasons, like stress, trauma, if you're eating a calorie restrictive diet, if you just went through childbirth, there's hormonal changes, if you're going through chemotherapy or radiation. Those are things that can shorten your Anagen phase, but then those are all reversible. There are also conditions that are unreversible that can shorten your Anagen phase, and one of them is the short Anagen syndrome, which has unidentified causes and will require you meeting with a dermatologist. So, Anagen stimulators are medications that increase the Anagen phase. I have looked into some of them, and then I checked online, I saw some medications, but I am not going to endorse anyone or advise you to take anyone, since I am not a board certified dermatologist. So you can look through online to see the medications, but then before you try anything, be sure to ask. Even if you're not going to ask a dermatologist, ask your family doctor or your primary care physician to let them know, okay, I want to try out this medication. What do you think about it? Because they are medications, and medications have side effects. Everything has a side effect. So you have to be careful of what you're going to take so you don't unknowingly harm yourself just because of aesthetics. So the next half is how to optimize your rate of growth. Like we have discussed, the rate of growth depends on your genetics and environmental factors. So if you want to optimize your rate of hair growth, then you need to, first of all, put in place that you are healthy. You need to be healthy. If you're not healthy, then you will not, like, if you're not healthy, it would show. It will show in your skin, it will show in your nails, it will show in your lips and your tongue. So that's how it's going to show in your hair. You're going to have stunted hair growth if you're not healthy. So if you don't drink enough water, if you don't eat well, sleep well, if you don't exercise often, maybe once a week, more than once, however it works for you, you have to also take care of your mental health. Those are things that play significant roles in our hair growth journey, but then we usually take them for granted because it's just like, oh, it's just water. Oh, I don't like water. Water is tasteless. I prefer to take soda or something like that. No. First of all, you need to establish a foundation of health. If you are in a healthy state, it will show in your hair. The same way, if a tree is planted by a river, it would show in how healthy its leaves and fruits look. So incorporate also incorporating minerals and vitamins has been known to stimulate hair growth, like biotin, vitamin E. There are so many other minerals, vitamins, and things that have been seen to optimize hair growth. And the best way to take those things is by putting them in your diet. So we know we find biotin, for example, in some food sources. There's some in animal sources. There's some in plant sources, like different vitamins and minerals. Now that's what I'm talking about. You can find different vitamins in plants. You can find different vitamins in animals. So get those in your diet. Don't be a fast food person. Like, we know fast food is easier, but then also be be intentional with what you eat. So eating fruits because they contain these vitamins or all those things, do that first before you think of supplements. Don't just jump into supplements. Think of having a healthy diet. It will not only be great for your hair, it will be great for your whole body. The issue that I would say is why you need to be careful with supplements is because you can overdo things. Most of these vitamins, most of these minerals, they have side effects if you take them too many, if you take them too much. So that's why diet is better, because diet is kind of regulated, unlike if you're taking the hard supplements. But then at the same time, it's not everything that you can get in your diet, and I understand that. So I would say the first thing you do is get your diet up to par, and then after that, discuss with your doctor on what supplements you will need to take. Because, for example, vegetarians, they don't have some vitamins in all vegetables. So there are some particular vitamins that you need to get from animal sources, and if you're a vegetarian, then you won't be able to get that. So you need a supplement for it. So all those kind of things, you have to keep them in mind. Don't just, oh, supplements are good for hair growth, and then you just take them and take them and take them. They can also affect you if you take too much of it. So thank you for attending my supplement rant. I just want to make sure you guys are staying the healthiest and not just jumping on trends because everybody likes them. So also, to improve your hair growth, you need to keep your scalp healthy and maintain blood circulation. Like we have learned, when your hair root is in contact with its source of nourishment, it grows. So scalp massages with stimulating oils are a great way to stimulate hair growth. You can also do the inversion method from time to time. I would not advise you do it every day or every other day, because I feel like that's a waste of time. If you do it once a week, then you're good. You are good. You don't have to be obsessive about any hair care practice you're going to do. Just do them in moderation, and then you would see the results add up little by little. Also, leave the let's not talk about treatments like rice water, onion juice, um all of those things, cherry powder, everything. I'm not going to pretend like they are not working. All of those concoctions have proved themselves to be useful for hair growth. But it's good that we understand the principle behind this treatment. The principle is that they contain scalp health and hair growth stimulating products like vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. So this is basically a topical application of all the things you should be eating, because those are the things that stimulate hair growth and scalp health and all of that. So what I'm saying is that just like how you can water the leaves of a plant and the roots of a plant, it is more important that you water the roots. Like, you can decide to leave the leaves. You can decide to leave the leaves and just water the roots. The plant will still grow. But then if you only water the leaves and then you ignore the roots, the plant will not be able to grow properly. So what I'm trying to say is that those treatments are good. They have proved themselves, but they must not replace a healthy lifestyle and diet. So now I'm going to talk about the hair program that I have prepared for you to help you grow your hair and take you from where you are to where you want to be and where you should be. So this is a monthly subscription product program that is dedicated to helping you move on your natural hair journey. Every member on their first month will get a free consultation with me, and we will set up a hair care plan together. I will add all the members to a private group where all members can interact. So every week we would have Zoom webinars, which will be a lot more interactive than this is, and then I will be sharing on a certain topic. In these webinars, there will be live Q&A and the opportunity to interact live with each other. So what we are saying now is we are going to be a community to help each other grow. We will also have a group Pinterest board, and every quarter we would have prizes for members of the squad that have stood out. It would not be based on who has grown the most hair. No, it will be based on people who have been real friends in the community, people who have been the most helpful, people who have, tried to uplift and propagate love, because we know that the natural hair community is supposed to improve our self-love and self-care and our community and relationship as a whole. So over time, there will also be opportunities for discount codes for hair products for members of the community on the way to finding products that work for them. And then there are many other perks that are in the works. If you would like to help me in the launching process, you can fill a survey that I have the link in the bio and in our chat, where you can fill a survey on how best I can serve you in the planning of this program. So how can this program help you achieve your hair goals? The goal is simple. Knowledge is power, but power can be useless if you don't know how to apply it. You see people, I don't know if you've ever heard a story of a poor person that saw a check that had like maybe $100 million, but then because they were ignorant and they didn't know what the check contained, they only used the check to light a fire. So something like that can very much happen to all of us, where we have power but then we don't know how to use it, and because of that we are stuck in frustration. So this is what this program offers: a way for you to get important hair care and growth related information, knowledge, and advice on how to apply what you learn to your hair care journey. And we also offer a community to work with as you go from where you are to where you want to be. We'll be trying out new things together, going on challenges, making lifestyle changes together. We'll be sharing experiences, getting questions answered with facts, and overall helping each other through our hair care journey while making amazing friendships. I would just like to point out that while I was doing this research, I went through so many while I was doing the research for this presentation, I went through so many peer-reviewed articles, and it made me feel like I'm here to tell you guys real stuff. There are so many things that I had to sit down and be like, okay, what is this saying? Because there are so many weird words and letters. And I'm a medical student, so I know weird words and letters, but then it was extra. So I'm just saying, me being able to go through the hard facts and hard information and then coming to break it down to you and explain how you can make it actionable in your life is what this program is all about. So how do you register? Enrollment opens on January 2nd through the Patreon platform. To join the waiting list, all you have to do is click the link in the chat room or in the video description, and you'll be directed to a page explaining everything that the program is about, with a short sign-up form where you'll be able to get updates on the launch process as well as whatever special deals I'll be throwing your way. So if you have any questions, now will be the perfect time for you to ask me, because we have come to the end of this presentation. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for a few minutes and then we shall end this class. You can still leave your comments. You can still send me you can still leave your comments, and you can still send me any questions you have to my email or to Instagram, and I'll definitely answer you. So I'm just going to wait a little bit and then we shall end this conversation. So I want to thank you all so much for joining this presentation. I want to thank you for your time. I hope you have been able to learn because that's the whole point of this process. I hope now you can see that your genetics, they play a role, but then they don't ultimately determine the fate of your hair growth. I like this picture because, you know, here my hair was, it was natural, and then it was long to an extent, but it was not healthy because I didn't know exactly what to do. I didn't know exactly what to do. I was still finding my way. I had just started my blog, and then I was just meeting new people. And then, the people I met actually made me learn more just from their experiences, just from the community that we had. I was able to become a better person. And then now in this after picture, it's like the hair length difference is not actually that much, but the volume and the health difference is a lot. And that is just what I'm trying to advertise to you. Taking you from where you are, which does not exactly have to be short, bald head or anything crazy. You know, short and bald head is actually cool. I'm planning to cut my hair at some point in time. But then I'm just saying, it doesn't have to be from short to waist length or something drastic like that. But it is taking you from a state where you are not exactly where you would like to be. Self-love wise, when it comes to your hair, you're not satisfied with what you have, or you just want to be better. Sometimes it's not as if you're not satisfied. Maybe you're satisfied, maybe you're happy, but then you still low-key feel like you're not doing the best that you can be, or you are not where you feel you have the where you feel you have the opportunity, or the where you feel you can be, or where you feel you should be. So that is where I come to help, taking you from where you are to where you should be, which is health and length and self-love. So thank you very much for joining this presentation. Thank you very much for joining this presentation. So I will see you all in our next talk, and hopefully also in the hair growth program. Have a nice